Welcome to release question number 38 for Algebra 1. It says the equation of the line L is 6x plus 5y equals 3. And the equation of the line Q is 5x minus 6y equals 0. Which statement about the two lines is true? And so we have them having the same y-intercept, x-intercept, that they're parallel, or that they're perpendicular. Looking at these the way they're written, I can't really tell what the slope and the y-intercept are. If I knew that, that would be really helpful. So if I actually start by changing both of these into slope-intercept form, it's going to be extremely helpful to help me figure out this question, or what the answer should be. So line L, I'll put that here. Line Q, I'll put that over here. Line L, 6x plus 5y equals 3. And line Q, 5x minus 6y equals 0. That's what I've got for both of those. So slope-intercept form, what's it look like? You've got y by itself equals something x and something else. So I need to move the other somethings over to the other side. So farewell 6x, it's been nice knowing you. I'm moving you to the right side, making you negative 6x when I move you over there. So I've got 5y equals negative 6x plus 3. Divide both sides by 5. Divide everything by 5. And I've got, this will cancel here and here, I've got y equals negative 6 over 5x plus 3/5. So it's not a final answer, but that's a really important piece of information right there. Line L is defined by this equation, which was equivalent to the equation we started with. It's just another way to write that equation. So over here, I want to do the same sort of thing. I want to get y by itself on the left side to make it look like slope-intercept form. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. This will leave me with negative 6y equals negative 5x. The 0, I can leave that out. So we think of it as plus 0 if there's nothing written there. But this I would divide by negative 6. That would cancel out here and here, leaving me with y equals 5 over 6x. And yes, you could think of this as plus 0. I'm going to write that in a different color here, just to remind us of that. It's there, but it's not there. We don't have to write it in. So what's true about these equations? Well, this one has a slope of, for line L, the slope is negative 6 over 5, and the y-intercept is 3/5. Over here, the slope is positive 5 over 6, and the y-intercept is 0. And so we compare the y-intercepts. That's easy to compare first. Do they have the same y-intercept? Clearly not. 3/5 and 0 are not the same numbers, so that's the wrong answer. X-intercept, well, maybe that's a little more difficult to figure out in this form, but let's see if they're parallel or perpendicular first. We'll consider this possibility later if need be. But 6/5, negative 6/5, and positive 5/6. What do you notice about those two numbers? If they're the same, then they're parallel. So are these the same? Do they have the same slope? No, they do not have the same slope. What are they actually? They are, it looks like one is the other one flipped around, and one is positive, one is negative. So if they're perpendicular, they're parallel of the same slope, which is not happening here. But if they're perpendicular, their slopes are exactly what we see here. They are opposite reciprocals. Another way to think of it is that the product of the slopes equals negative 1. If you were to multiply this and this together, you would get negative 1. So some books will say that. Some books might say something like this. I prefer this. I think it's a little easier way to think about it. But are they opposite reciprocals? Yes, the slopes are opposite reciprocals, meaning however they look graphed, this isn't what they look like graphed, but let's say 5 over 6, that's pretty close to 1, so this is just a very rough sketch. This one might have a slope of 5 over 6, but a slope of negative 6 over 5 would look something like this. They would be perpendicular. You'd have a 90-degree angle right here. Slope could be of that one, negative 6 over 5, and that's kind of what they would look like, very roughly graphed. But this one, 38, should be choice D.